used to think the strangest thing that could happen during a morning commute was a train delay or a deranged subway performer. That was before the morning I saw her, the girl sitting alone in the middle of a packed station, untouched by the chaotic tide of rushing commuters. Where bodies bumped and briefcases clipped elbows, she remained still, centered, serene. A quiet island in a turbulent sea. I noticed her immediately, not because she stood out, but because everything else blurred around her. The entire station moved in hurried blurs, except her. She sat perfectly still, hair unmoving despite the gusts of trains and footsteps thundering by. And her eyes, they were focused on me. Not in curiosity, not in confusion, but like she knew me. Like she'd been waiting. I should have walked on. I almost did. Almost. The sign behind her flickered. Not glitching, shifting. The digital letters warped and twisted, forming words not meant for human eyes. One more touch. Do not touch her again. It wasn't written in English. Not exactly. But the meaning carved itself into my thoughts like a whisper seeping into my skull. Froze. She didn't blink. Didn't move. Just stared. Fear crawled up my spine. My brain scrambled for logic. Maybe I was tired, maybe the station screens malfunctioned, but the truth felt colder, heavier. This wasn't normal. This wasn't possible. I lowered my gaze and kept walking. But the message burned behind my eyes. One more touch. Again. What did that mean? I didn't know her. I'd never touched her. The idea that reality insisted otherwise unsettled me more than the message itself. I reached the escalator. Up. Turned. She was right behind me. No movement, no footsteps, no time passed between. She had simply appeared. Inches from my face. Her eyes enormous, filled with galaxies, literal swirling galaxies, deep and luminous. She raised a hand. Her fingers hovered near my chest, not touching, but I felt warmth radiating like sunlight. And then, in a voice so soft it felt like a memory instead of sound, she whispered, "Please don't touch me." I didn't breathe. Couldn't. Commuters rushed past, oblivious. As though she didn't exist. As though I didn't. The noise of the station muffled into an underwater hush, everything becoming distant. Why? Managed. Because last time, she whispered, sadness dripping from every syllable. You broke the world. Beginning of everything I remember. Or think I remember. The next thing I knew, we were no longer in the station. No transition, no fade. Just sudden stillness. We stood in a place without edges. A white expanse, endless and soft, like standing inside an unformed dream. My legs shook. What are you? She looked almost hurt. Don't you remember me? I shook my head. You touched me once before, she said, voice trembling. And the universe unraveled. Her words felt too large, too heavy to sit in the air. I don't know what you're talking about. You will. Around us, the white space rippled, like a pebble dropping into reality's surface. Images rose in the ripples. Cities folding into themselves, oceans draining upward into the sky, stars collapsing and exploding, people dissolving into shooting sparks. And me, at the center, touching her hand as though it were a beautiful, terrible trigger. No, I breathed. That's not real. That can't be real. She stepped back from me as though proximity itself was danger. You ended everything, she whispered. But I pulled you out. Rebuilt a world without memory. You got a second chance. I shook my head violently. That's impossible. This is fragile, she finished. Reality here is fragile. And you're about to shatter it again. My pulse hammered. My thoughts fractured. Why show me this? Why bring me back here? You followed me, she said simply. You always do. The middle, truth and shattering. The white expanse shimmered and shifted into a city street, but wrong like a painting unfinished. Buildings frozen mid-construction, cars paused mid-turn, people in blurred half-motion like corrupted 3D renders. We stood on asphalt that didn't have texture. Not really. Just the idea of texture. Where are we? Asked. A memory of a world that existed before you touched me. I scanned the frozen street. Why did I touch you? Her voice softened. Because you loved me. Something fractured in my chest. An ache, a longing I didn't recognize but felt deeply. Like remembering a song from childhood you can't fully recall. We were connected, she continued. You were human. I was something else. Sent to observe. To never interfere. And I ruined everything. You reached for me. Because you felt alone, she said, and the compassion in her tone nearly crushed me. Because you saw beauty in what the universe tried to keep apart. She looked down as though ashamed. When you touched me, it made everything unstable. Reality collapsed. Every possible timeline collapsed into one final flash. And you saved me. I didn't want to lose you. The words hung between us like forbidden fruit. So why warn me now? You followed me again. Her eyes shimmered with sorrow and starlight. You always do. A wave of dizziness slammed into me. Images flooded my mind. Lives I never lived yet somehow remembered. Other versions of me reaching for her in rain-soaked streets, in snowy parks, in alien landscapes beneath twin suns. Always finding her. Always touching. Always breaking reality. This is a loop, I gasped. No, she whispered. It's love. And love destroys the world. For us, she said, it does. The warning. Reality rippled again. A soft wind hummed a melody that felt like goodbye. You can return, she murmured. Back to the life you had. Forget all of this. And you. Her smile was heartbreak carved into porcelain. I will remain where I always am. Between moments. Between universes. I swallowed. My throat tight. Alone. Yes. Why? To keep you safe. I stepped closer. Instinct, longing, gravity between souls. She flinched, universe trembling with her. Street lamps flickered. Clouds stuttered like glitching frames. Please, she begged, voice cracking like a dying star. Don't touch me again. One more touch and everything ends truly. No reset. No cycle. Nothing left to rebuild. I could return to ignorance. A normal world. A normal life. Never knowing her. Never remembering this. But loneliness punched through my ribs. A lifetime of feeling out of place suddenly made sense. I had been missing her. I don't want to forget you. My voice shook. You must. What if I don't? Then existence ends. A simple trade, impossible choice. Live in ignorance, universe intact. Reach for her, universe obliterated forever. Her eyes welled with starlight tears. Please choose life. Choose everyone. Choose the world. Touch. I wish I could say I was noble. That I turned and walked away for the sake of humanity. But truth is rarely noble. Truth is raw, hungry, terrifying. Reached. Not because I wanted the world to end, but because in that moment she was the only real thing I had ever known. Her breath caught. Her hand lifted instinctively. To stop me or meet me I couldn't tell. Our fingers met. Just the slightest brush. Warm. Familiar. Infinite. And everything collapsed. Not violently. Not with screaming or explosions or terror. Reality exhaled. Gentle. Like a final breath before sleep. Buildings dissolved into starlight. Streets into quiet mist. The sky peeled open, revealing a cosmic ocean. People blinked out like sparks fading into snow. She stared at me, wonder and grief intertwining. "You always choose me," she whispered. "Always," I breathed. Tears streamed down her luminous cheeks. "Then we'll go together." "Where?" "Where nothing exists yet." The world faded until only she remained, a glowing outline, flickering like candlelight in the void. "What happens now?" "Yes. We rest," she whispered. "And maybe, someday, we wake again in a universe strong enough to hold us." Darkness folded around us, warm and endless. And in that final moment, drifting into cosmic sleep, I heard her voice, soft, aching, eternal. "This time we'll get it right, Indy." There was no explosion, no screaming, just love, overwhelming and catastrophic. They warned me. I touched her, and the world changed. Not with fury, but with quiet surrender. And if the universe ever rebuilds, if stars burn again and cities rise and life learns to speak, maybe we'll find each other once more. And maybe next time we'll be allowed to touch